What's something rather inexpensive we can do with link building to dilute anchors across hundreds of pages where links have been built? That's a really good question. I don't know. When you talk about hundreds of pages, that's the problem. If you had, a few pages with a bunch of spammy links, then although I don't like to build press releases directly to a money site, you could do that. To dilute a over-optimized anchor text profile, press releases is one of the best ways to do it because you can use a brand anchor or a URL anchor. I prefer a brand anchor any day of the week, or you could even use a generic or miscellaneous anchor, but I don't recommend that. I think anchor text should be descriptive of what they're linking to. I'm serious. I don't build generic anchors or miscellaneous anchors. I don't do that at all. We don't build generic anchors at all, period. We brand anchors, if you're going to build a generic anchor, why not just use the damn brand name and do a brand anchor? That's my opinion. Again, I don't build generic anchors, but and I don't like to do URL anchors. I like to use, I think anchor text should be descriptive of what it is linking to. So that can be a brand name or what I call a compound anchor, which is brand plus keyword or brand plus location modifier, something like that. Or the keyword anchors, if it's local, what I call a target anchor is keyword plus location modifier. If it's a keyword without location modifier, I call that a topic anchor, right? So the two keyword anchors that I use are target or topic anchors. Then mostly, but I mostly build brand anchors at least at tier 1. At tier 2, we do a lot of target and topic anchors. Anyway, to say all that was that if you're, again, if you had just a couple of pages on the site that were way over optimized with their anchor text profile, then a press release could work. And I would say brand anchor, or again, I wouldn't do it, but you could do a generic or miscellaneous anchor, or even a URL anchor, which again, I don't like to do those. But I would do a press release. But you're talking about hundreds of pages. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm sorry. Maybe go find I would recommend possibly doing some Web 2.0 types of links. But the problem with that is most of those don't even get picked up. It's not really, it doesn't really matter whether they get indexed. They should be crawled by Google. That's the important thing. They get crawled. Whether they get indexed or not doesn't really matter. So the problem with a lot of the Web 2.0 links is a lot of them don't get crawled. Or maybe they do, but they're just not as effective, in my opinion. But tools like Majestic, which is the tool that I use for backlink analysis, won't even pick up Web 2.0 links. So if you're, again, I don't know what backlink analysis tool you're using, but I use Majestic, which automatically filters out very low quality links. So it won't even show. If you look at what they call the historical index, you can see those low quality links, but I always use the fresh index, which are the links that, according to Majestic's algorithm, are providing some level of value, right? Or at least link equity. And so a lot of those Web 2.0 links, unless they have been powered up in some fashion, aren't even going to register. So now Google might have crawled them, and that's fine. You can always determine that through Search Console. Like if you wanted to try some Web 2.0 link campaigns in order to try to dilute anchor text, one thing you could do is export your external backlinks from Search Console for the domain, and then run a Web 2.0 campaign. When you get the report back from your provider, submit them through indexers, like Omega Indexer would be a good one for that. And then, a week or two later, go back and export your external backlink profile from Search Console again and compare and see, because again, whether those links are indexed or not, it doesn't matter. If Google crawled them, they'll be in your external backlink report from Search Console. It doesn't matter whether they're indexed. If Google crawled them, they will be in the backlink report and the external backlink profile that you can export from Search Console. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's why I'm saying if you were to try to do like a Web 2.0 campaign to try to dilute anchor text and your backlink analysis tools weren't picking up those links, you could always check Search Console to see where they at least crawl. Is Google aware of them? So yeah, hopefully that helps. But that's again why, you're over optimized or spammed link profiles, they're hard to clean up. It is. You could also, by the way, just disavow them, right? Like that's another thing you could do. Now that's not going to remove them from the backlink profile in the tools, but think about that. If you have over optimized anchor text ratio or profile, it might be easier that instead of trying to dilute them, why not go and just disavow a lot of those links, right? Because then Now, keep in mind, like I said, when you disavow links, guys, you are not removing them from the index. You're just telling Google to ignore them, or whether they're indexing in or not, doesn't matter. It's whether Google crawls them and counts them, right? So if you're looking at, I use Majestic. So if I'm looking at a backlink profile in Majestic and I find a bunch of spammy links or an over-optimized anchor text ratio, and I want to go disavow links in order to, clean up the backlink profile, then I'll go disavow those links. But that doesn't mean Majestic, they're going to disappear from Majestic's analysis. They're still going to show up in Majestic even once they're disavowed, right? That doesn't remove them from the web. So they're still crawlable. They're still discoverable by Majestic and Ahrefs and all the others. It just means that you're telling Google, hey, ignore these links, right? So you got to keep that in mind. That's kind of a little bit tricky when you're dealing with disavowing, because you're not actually removing them from anywhere. All you're doing is telling Google to ignore them. So you better keep detailed records of that, or else it'll skew your data every time you go to do another backlink analysis. If you forgot, hey, I got all these links already disavowed, then it will skew your data, if that makes sense. So I can understand wanting to dilute anchor text, but honestly, I think it's a lot easier and faster just to disavow, really, especially across hundreds of pages, right?